righty. What's up,
All
man? How we
right.
doing?
What's up? Good. How's it going?
It's all good. All good.
Yeah, nice win against William and Mary. Y'all smoked them.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good one. Good
I
to get
know
back
that
on
was fun.
track.
I didn't watch it because I was at a football game, but I looked it up after as soon as I got home.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that
Good.
was cool. I'm excited. My mom said I might have a chance to go to when y'all play FSU.
Oh, that's gonna be a really good game. Friday
Yeah,
night game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Friday night.
And
Yeah,
that's a couple weeks, 2 weeks from now.
yeah. I think it's 2 weeks from. It's on a Friday.
Yeah.
So that works great because I don't have school the next day. So yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
good. So yeah, that'll be fun to go to. I love watching y'all play. Y'all have done so good.
Yeah, it's been cool being
I
on
know.
the team now. I've been here for 3 months, so guys have been great and everybody's excited.
Yeah,
Got Stanford this week, which now an ACC game because they're in the ACC now. So getting ready for that, and then FSU is a big one we've got circled.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's a
excited for
big
that too.
game. Yeah. Well, I'll introduce you and then we can get into it.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Okay. Um, Today we've got Walker Wallace on the podcast, captain of Cornell's 2025 national champs after making the rare leap from goalie to long stick. Now he's back in Virginia, suiting up at tight end for UVA and carrying on a proud Cavalier legacy. From multi-sport captain at high school into the post hosting trophy at Cornell to taking on ACC football, Walker's story is pure grit, adaptability, and raising the standard wherever he goes. Let's get into it with Walker Wallace.
Yeah, excited
Thank
to
you
be
for
here.
getting on. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Um,
the intro.
yeah. So can you to start it off, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Richmond, Virginia originally. I went to St. Christopher's School and yeah, I was a three sport guy there, like you said, and then ended up playing lacrosse at Cornell. My older brother played lacrosse at Cornell as well. He graduated in 2019. So I ended up, following his footsteps and playing at Cornell and graduated this past spring. And following that, using my last year to play football here at UVA. Yeah, so I've been in Charlottesville ever
Yeah.
since we won in the spring, and yeah, here I am.
Yep. Here you are in Virginia. So wait, so did you redshirt a year at Cornell? You redshirted your
So the Ivy League rules are a little weird with that compared to other places where you can just, like a lot of people redshirt their freshman year, but the Ivy League is like there's not technically red shirts, but I did the equivalent of a red shirt, and that freshman year for me was 2021.
Oh, so right around COVID.
Yeah, so our season was canceled that spring. Everybody else played, but the Ivy League decided to cancel the season that year, so that's how the eligibility
Yeah,
got
that
tough.
makes so much sense. If I would have done the exact same thing, because you want to have all 4 years of eligibility, and so that makes sense.
Exactly.
But also, you said you were in Cornell's Ivy League school. I forgot about that. That's really cool. St. Chris is a smart school, so yeah.
St. Chris got me ready, I'll tell you. That was,
Yes, yeah, they did get you ready for Cornell. Cornell's a big step. Cornell is a big step.
no
Ivy
doubt.
League, but St. Chris was smart. So we know they play lacrosse. How did you really get into lacrosse?
So I got into lacrosse kind of just in the youth programs around Richmond. Like I said, my older brother played, but neither of my parents played lacrosse. We had some family friends and a lot of my brother's buddies that were playing lacrosse, and
Yeah,
so I was kind of just doing whatever he did when I
yeah,
first started playing. But I played Geronimo, like youth lacrosse in
yeah,
Richmond, and then started playing club lacrosse and getting a little more serious with it in middle school. I think a lot of the clubs have changed names since I was playing, but yeah, that's kind of how I started.
What club teams did you play for?
I played for our club team, pretty much changed names like every year. So when I was younger, it was Next Level, not the
Oh,
one that's in DC, but it was our club was just called Next Level. I played for a
yeah.
team called Team Virginia. And then my real like club time during high school was with Amped. So I played Amped ninth through 12th grade and
Yeah.
did my recruiting circuits with them and had a lot of my buddies on the team. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did you play lacrosse at St. Chris?
Yep, I played lacrosse at St. Chris all the way through. Like you said, I played goalie in high school.
Yeah.
That's what I was recruited to Cornell as a goalie. But yeah, I was lacrosse, basketball, football in high school.
Yeah. That's what I do too. For school sports, I so far in sixth grade I did track, and then this year I'm doing football. But I'm deciding if I do baseball or not. But just for something to do because
Yeah.
we're a public school, and it's just fun to get out with your buds.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried to play every sport I could. I played
Yeah.
baseball and lacrosse both in the spring for as long as
Yeah.
I could, and then eventually, timing wise, just kind of had to
Yeah.
make a
You just got to
decision.
pick one.
But yeah, I love it and do
Yeah.
everything.
Picking multi-sport. That's what yeah. I'm gonna multi-sport in high school too. So
Love it.
yeah, that'll be a fun experience. So we know that you went to Cornell. What kind of made you decide on Cornell, if you could say?
Yeah. So I started going to Cornell like with my brother there in when I was in middle school. I went to a lot of the games and I love the team and I love the guys and just kind of the way they did things and I really wanted to be a part of it, but still went through a normal recruiting process because I didn't want to just decide that that's where I was going to go without kind of taking a look and doing my homework on other places. So um kind of came down to a couple schools that I visited. University of Richmond was another one, and then
Yeah,
University of Virginia as well, kind of towards the later part of my recruiting. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of in love with Cornell the whole time, and the coaching staff and all the guys that I got to meet during my visits there. So couldn't be happier that I ended up.
yeah. That's totally true. I feel like it's kind of like your gut that tells you that like that's the school. That's what every college player that we've had in up has said that um it's been like kind of their gut to go there, like that's their dream school. Like for me, mine's I have three: UVA, Princeton, and Duke. But maybe I go somewhere else. But I haven't even. The only one I've actually explored is UVA, just because both my parents went there. So you know, who
Yeah,
knows?
absolutely. I my parents both went to UVA as well, so it's
Yeah,
similar to you, growing up and being around Charlottesville a little bit through them and being a UVA fan. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting part of the process. There's a big component of just your gut feeling, like you said.
yeah. That's it. So I know that you went into Cornell as a goalie. What was it like switching to a defense?
Yeah, it was a pretty big jump. As you know, it's not really a natural transition from
Yeah,
goalie to going out into the field, but following the 2022 season, we made the national championship that year and lost to Maryland. And, I didn't play that year and we had a goalie who was coming back for another year. And I had an awesome experience being a part of that team, but just really had an itch to try to see if I could get on the field. So started talking about it with my friends and family, and didn't really know if it was something that I could even try to go chase.
yeah,
Is switching from goalie to playing in the field, but being a multi-sport guy, like we were talking about earlier, I had experience playing basketball, and there's similar
yeah,
movements in basketball as playing defense and lacrosse, and that gave me some confidence to talk to my coaches, and really a lot of the credit goes to them for supporting me. First of all, letting me make that decision and be like,
yeah.
yeah, we support you and we think you can do it. And then same with my family. They supported me along the way, but it wasn't smooth at all times. There's definitely
Yeah.
a big learning curve that first fall.
Yeah, as you said, it's really helpful when you have the supporters. If I feel like if you don't, it can be hard, but you had them, so that
Absolutely.
made it a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
Um, so what was the experience like being on a national championship team and then going to UVA? Like, what was it like playing with Cornell and winning the national championship in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, it was a dream come true. It was something that we a goal that we set before the year even started when we sat down in the fall, and we knew we were going to have a lot of talent on our team, but talented teams don't always end up winning championships. It's what you put out on the field. So we set that goal, and then I had my 50 best friends with me as my
Yeah.
teammates, and we were able to achieve that goal. Is really a feeling like nothing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I feel like everyone that we talk to says that the biggest game that they've ever played in is winning the national championship. So that's a really cool experience. I really talk with people like this, like you. Um, but what was the pressure like when you were playing in the championship?
Like oddly enough, I that was probably the least nervous I ever was for a game at
Hmm.
Cornell. And, the first games that I was playing in my sophomore and junior year, I remember being really nervous before those games. But, coming into this game, it was just a feeling that, we had done everything that we could to be prepared, and we were going into that game with a lot of respect for Maryland. They're a great team, but
Yeah.
we had a lot of confidence in ourselves as well that we were going to be able to perform because we'd done it consistently throughout the year. So, really just focusing on what our roles are individually and what our goals were as a team in that game kind of drowns out a lot of the outside noise as far as the fans and the atmosphere, the whole
Yeah.
environment. So yeah, it was a cool feeling.
Yeah, championship games always have a crazy atmosphere, like either it's college, PLL, they're always crazy experiences, but yeah, like you said, if you can, knock out the noise, then that really helps you to play to your full extent.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so do you have a favorite memory from your championship run?
I'll give you two. So first, prior to the NCAA run, the winning the Ivy League tournament, that game against Princeton was one of the most hard fought games that I've played in. And, we hadn't been able to win an Ivy League tournament in my time there. We won the regular season or shared the regular season championship for 4 years in a row and just couldn't really get it done in the tournament. So really satisfying feeling to see our work kind of come to fruition and earn that Ivy League tournament championship. And then the second one would be CJ's empty netter in the national championship. It's just kind of finally that feeling that for the first time you're like, we might really do this. A couple minutes to go, and he made that play and ended up tying the single season record
Yeah.
with that goal. So it was a pretty historic goal for a guy who deserves all the credit he gets. And yeah, it was a really cool feeling.
Yeah, championship game. CJ Curse. We're gonna talk about that later, but CJ Curse. He's just fun to watch. In the PLO now, shining with the Water Dogs, and tough loss against Atlas, but they gave Atlas a run for their money for sure.
No doubt. Yep.
Um, what was the toughest matchup you faced at Cornell?
Team wise or individually?
Um, let's go individually and hit on team later.
Okay.
But like, if you're going one on one, who's the toughest matchup?
I got to go with a guy on my own team who I saw every day, Hugh Kelleher, playing for the Atlas. Just won a championship today, but Hugh was a freight train. He's one of the most gifted guys physically that
Yeah.
I've seen, and was a freak athlete coming out of high school, and ended up being a hell of a lacrosse player too. One of my best buddies, but we would always butt heads in practice, being older guys. He was a offensive midfielder. I was playing LSM, so
Yeah.
yeah, I got beat by him a fair share of times, but
Yeah,
great
but did
player.
you beat him a fair share of times? That's the
Hey,
question.
I like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you like to
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. Hopefully he watches this. He'll definitely give you a shout out for that.
Yeah.
Um, so now we're kind of going back to CJ Curse. What was it like being teammates with him?
CJ is one of the best teammates that I've had. He's probably my best friend. And to have a teammate like that and a guy off the field who's as good of a
Yeah.
guy as he is, I think it just does a lot for the team. Obviously, he scores a ton of goals and makes
Yeah.
the plays, led the team in cause turnovers and ground balls. Stats that you just don't see for attackmen. But when you have your most talented player also being your hardest worker, guys see that and it makes younger guys want to work harder, makes guys in
Yeah.
his own class want to work harder. So yeah, he was obviously a huge part of what we did this year.
Yeah, he's a big leader. I like watching him. And it's crazy how you look at him and when you first hear him, I feel like he's much older than he actually is. But I met him in person at the Water Dogs game when they were playing Atlas, and he just looks so much younger than all the stats and stuff make up of him. It's crazy that like he's in the pros, but he looks like he's like 19. I mean, it's
I love
so
it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's funny. He actually he came to watch our game yesterday with my parents. So he stayed over here last night with me. I just dropped him off at the airport. But that's funny. That's funny you
Yeah,
said that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's so cool and he's a great player. But he's but what really matters is like we were talking about earlier is that I mean, it's also the playing style, but um, being able being able to be a leader off the field. That's what coaches strive for. They're like 80% of being a leader and then 20% skill. That's what that at least from my standpoint, that's what coaches say at our league. But
100%. I think, yeah, that's huge. And the thing with CJ is, it's he doesn't fake any of it. That guy loves the game more than anybody I've ever met. And that's the reason he's as good as he is.
yeah,
Because he loves what he does every day. He loves putting the work in and pays dividends.
yeah, the CJ curse, CJ cursed. So kind of moving off of that, how did you decide to move from lacrosse at Cornell to football at UVA?
That was, something that I was hoping to do for a little while now. I thought about playing football coming out of high school, but obviously I'd committed to Cornell to play
Yeah,
lacrosse, and that was what I wanted to go do. But in the back of my mind, I was hoping that football would be a possibility with my grad year. And so my high school football coach at St. Chris, Lance Cleland, was a big piece of me being able to pursue this. And
yeah,
he was kind of the first one to give me the idea, like, hey, this is something that you could go do if you're interested in doing it. So but really just when the opportunity presented itself, I knew I wanted to take it, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but yeah, it's been awesome being in Charlottesville. It's been awesome being a little closer
yeah,
to home, and it's been a dream come true for sure.
yeah. Football, football UVA, lights out Friday. That's like dreams come true, like you said. But what have been some of the biggest differences from Cornell to UVA?
Um, I think just with the nature of football, it's a bigger production than lacrosse is. So the game day experience is different. The prep during the week, there's some similarities between the two, but the film study with football is a little bit more in depth as far as preparing for your opponents. But honestly, the athletic piece of the two sports, it's been cool to kind of take some things that I used in lacrosse, and
Yeah,
whether it's training or whether it's actual movements on the field, and be like, hey, I know I've done something similar to this before, and try to
yeah,
learn it in a new way now.
yeah. College sports. What is the difference between lacrosse practice and football practice? Like, is football practice a little bit harder, you think?
I think they're both hard in different ways. Football practice is physically tougher,
Yeah,
just on your body. As far as the contact that you're dealing with throughout a practice, the big difference is how like scripted and planned out football practice is. So everything that we do for the whole practice is, down to the minute, down to the second, planned
yeah,
out. You got to stay on the schedule, and there's certain things you got to get through to prepare for the game on Saturday. And a lot of it is catered specifically to getting ready for your upcoming opponent. Whereas, lacrosse practice was tougher on the endurance, or just like really
yeah,
you got to do a lot of things when you're tired, you can't breathe, and
yeah,
your legs are killing you. That's the big battle in lacrosse. But the practice is a little more free flowing,
yeah.
less scripted, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. But do you like so me personally, I think that I love having a scripted practice. Like I love knowing exactly what we're gonna do, when we're gonna finish. Like okay, so you have to lock in for this moment at this time. So I like it. Do you?
I like it. Yeah. I think they both have benefits. It makes sense that we do that
Yeah.
in football practice because there's certain things that we have to do each week
Yeah.
in order to be ready. I think our lacrosse practices, so we were a team that we never knew what was coming that day in practice,
Okay.
on
Yeah.
purpose, like the coaches wouldn't tell us
Yeah.
what we had each day. And a big thing that they intentionally did this year was kind of throw curveballs at us in practice to try to keep us on our toes. So it's not just the same schedule every week. It's not the same drills that you're expecting. We might go out to practice and we might scrimmage simulate a fourth quarter right at the beginning of practice, or
Yeah.
might do a drill we've never done before right out of the gates to get everybody engaged. And so that was something they did in practice, and then kind of used as confidence of, hey, we've thrown everything we've got at you, and you guys have responded well, so you'll be ready for whatever comes on game day.
You put that so very well. I like that a lot. That was great. I mean,
Let's go.
yeah, that was great. I've never even thought of it like that. You know, I'm we our practices are like your football practice. Like our coaches will pull out his phone right before practice and be like, "Okay, huddle up. This is what he goes right down his phone and this is what we're gonna do." So I mean, I like that because then like I said, I know what we're doing and
Mhm.
I like to know what we're doing. But sometimes it's beneficial to not know what you're doing so that you're ready for whoever you're playing and keeps you on your toes like you said.
Absolutely.
um so tight end is a demanding position. How do your lacrosse skills benefit you playing football at UVA now?
um I think like footwork wise, that was a big thing that Coach Stevens at Cornell preached defensively, is just being aware of how you're moving around the field and being intentional about your footwork. And there's a lot of similarities with tight end position, whether it's route running or whether it's your footwork and blocking. You if you want to be great at what you do, you got to have control of those things, and you take pride in your footwork. So that's been one that's definitely carried
Yeah.
over. I think there's a lot more thinking involved in football as far as like being a tight end. There's a lot on your plate with blocking responsibilities and all the route concepts and pass
Yeah.
protection and stuff like that. That wasn't really on my mind, obviously, when I was playing lacrosse, but I've enjoyed trying to get up to speed with all.
Yeah. Especially especially learning football plays. I play football for our school, and comparing our football plays to our lacrosse plays is a night and day difference. I
Yeah,
mean,
totally different.
it's the football plays are like 6 years long, while lacrosse is one word.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Lacrosse, you obviously just have like kind of sets and formations,
yeah,
and the play is
but
more free flowing. But
yeah, in football, the play is literally a word for every single position. It's insane.
yeah,
Ours are like will be like, you know, Indiana pass left, QB sneak, something, it's some long thing. But that I mean that's what we got to do so the opponent doesn't know what we're running and stuff.
yeah,
Because if it was just one thing, then they could just send people out and see what our plays are. So
yeah.
I think that makes sense for football, but long lacrosse plays don't. I don't understand that because you won't have a headset on while you're playing lacrosse. As in football, the QB may have like a earpiece or something, but you
Yep.
know.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so what's been the hardest part of jumping back into football at the D1 level?
I think just that piece that we were talking about, the football IQ and the playbook side of things, it's a lot to learn. And the guys here have been great helping me, trying to get me up to speed.
Yeah,
But I think with any sport, the more you play it, the more you kind of develop instincts and the sports IQ you need to get your job done. And having not played football for a handful of years, that's definitely been coming back, but something that I'm working on.
yeah. So do the does you like the does UVA keep the same plays every year, or do they switch it up so opponents won't remember what they're running? As in
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like you like say you're a freshman and you play football all the way until you're a senior. Like if they have the same plays, you'll have them locked in. You'll remember everything, or do they switch it up every year? So
I mean, it even switches like week to week in order to be ready for the defense in the following week. And, depending on what your offensive coordinator or your coaches want to install, there's new plays that you're learning week by week. So certain concepts can stay the same and certain base plays can stay the same over the years, but there's definitely a lot of change.
yeah. Um. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Having to switch from, lacrosse and then going into, football. That's all that those concepts really make a difference, I guess you could say, but it also benefits you.
Definitely.
Um, so as we know that you switched to football, were there any early welcome to UVA football moments?
Um, I mean, the just generally in practice, we practice hard. I don't know if there's any moments specifically, but as far as getting back into the physicality of football,
Yeah.
that's something that happened from day one. So getting here and having not played in 5 years and going right into fall camp,
Yeah.
um, that was a lot, but brings the team closer. Makes us stronger, gets us ready for the season. So um, it definitely was a tough couple weeks going through fall camp, but you know, it wouldn't be able to have success during the season without it.
Yeah, 100%. Um, so we know that you've captained multiple teams in multiple sports. What do you think makes you a great leader?
Um, I think I've been really fortunate to be led by a lot of people that I've learned from, and whether it was at St. Chris or at Cornell, I've had great leaders. I had a great fifth year class of leaders when we went to the national championship in 2022, and I tried to learn as much as I could from them. And the main things that I think made them great leaders were how well connected they were in the locker room. They seemed like they were best friends with every guy on the team. And then next was, how they held themselves accountable before they tried to hold anybody else accountable. So those are kind of, two of the pillars that I tried to take with me as a leader was being somebody that, has a close relationship with everyone in the locker room at Cornell
Yeah,
and someone that they can trust as a friend first before they even have to think about you as a leader. And then next was kind of carrying myself in a way and going about my business in a way that um, people could respect, and so that then when it's time to maybe hold somebody else accountable, I'm able to stand on the ground and hold them accountable because I've got my own stuff in line first. I think that's really
yeah,
important.
for sure. I mean, so far I can really see that you're a leader because you I think do you think that um I guess you could say, if you're say you're a freshman going into Cornell, were the senior like, do you think the seniors help benefit you at when into, sorry,
Very good.
when you go into, like, as you get farther into college, I guess you could say?
Yeah, I mean, I think a locker room environment in general is like a lot of learning from what people are doing around you. Um,
Yeah,
seeing the way that things are done and seeing what leads people to success and, you know, maybe what habits don't help people have success. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was consciously trying to do it at all times, but I would see a guy like Joe Bartolotto, who was a senior captain that long stick middie that led us to that national championship. And, he was a great leader.
yeah,
But it's easy to say that. And then it's harder to say, what did he do that made him a great leader? So
yeah,
tried to watch and learn from him and try to imitate that in a way. And in doing that, you kind of get the qualities of the people around you that
yeah.
help them be successful and hopefully it, helps you be a great leader in the end.
Yeah, you grow into what they do, you mimic what they did to make you also a great leader.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that, but the thing with the leadership and that I really changed my thinking on was when I was younger, kind of thought these great leaders are just like born as great leaders, and it's all comes very naturally. But the reality of it, in my experience through sports or off the field, is that people develop into great leaders. They don't always just start out as great leaders. So as much as I'm very proud of leading the Cornell team this spring. I was only able to do it because of all the people around me that
Yeah.
taught me how to be a leader.
Yeah. The people that surround you really, I guess that you could say that they really build you up and that makes you strive for greatness, which then brings your team together or closer, I guess you could say.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Um, so we know that you've played a lot of big games. How do you handle the pressure of playing in those big games?
I think just trusting in my preparation. I'm a guy who has very structured habits as far as how I prep during the week, and how I take care of my body, or putting in extra work on things I need to improve at, or knowing the opponent.
Yeah.
When I can take care of business with that and not have to worry if I did enough, allows me to kind of play free. And that's always how I felt at Cornell. Was that if I had put the work in, it comes to game time, and that's supposed to be the fun part. So going out and trying to play like I did when I was 8 years old, and just going out to play because I
Yeah.
love the game.
Play for fun. That's what Rec's all about.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think people lose that at times during their career, but just kind of keeping that at the front of my mind, and then really tuning everything out on
Yeah.
game day. Our coach Busick would always say before big games, go out pregame, take a look around, soak in the fans, soak in the stadium, and then forget about it because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We're going there to play a game. We'll play them in the parking lot if they want to play in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's not about where we're playing; it's about what we're trying to do. So that was the mentality.
Yeah, great mentality. I like that what your coach said. That I mean that makes so much sense, understanding that this you're not here for the fans. I mean, after the game you can be there for the fans, but in the moment, focus in the moment and your goal is to try and win the game and beat your opponent. So, that's what it really comes down to is like you said, blinding out the noise.
Yes, sir.
Um, so what advice would you give to younger athletes who play multiple sports?
I mean, I would say if you're doing that and playing multiple sports, I think you're on the right path. The crossover between sports is hard to even understand. But when you have experience playing as many sports as you can, you'll find that when you finally choose one, or set some point down the road, you'll be able to take things you learned, and kind of bring them together. And outside of that, like just the experience of playing sports and being a part of a team and making
Yeah.
friends that'll last a lifetime. I still keep up with people that I played sports with in middle school.
Yeah.
Sports that I don't even play anymore, but through that experience of being on a team together, you make these relationships that will mean a lot to you. So I would encourage everybody to
Play multiple sports. Yeah.
play as many sports as you can.
Team environment, that's what our lacrosse coach says. Team environment really builds those life skills that you need to, cooperate with people, work with people, because that makes your life easier, especially when it comes to, later in life when you're looking for a job or you're trying to make a business.
You're right. You're a
Um,
wise man.
Yeah, thank you. So these are gonna be like somewhat rapid fire, but they don't have to be. We can get in depth, but just a straight line of questions.
Love it. Let's do it.
All right, who's the funniest teammate you've ever had?
Mark Silos, Cornell.
Mark Silos. Favorite pregame hype song?
Hmm, I will go with. Hmm. Who do I want to go with? I like NBA YoungBoy. Something by NBA
Okay,
YoungBoy.
I think I know what that is. Coolest football stadium you want to play in
Coolest one I have played in, or that I want to play
that you want to play in?
in. I would love to play in Neyland Stadium, Tennessee.
Tennessee, Tennessee. That's fun. You
Yeah,
think you'll play? Are you all gonna play them this year?
No, but I love that stadium.
Yeah, it's cool. Tennessee's great. That's a great school. Yeah, I mean, all their sports drive, they're really good. All their
Absolutely.
sports are good. Um, Best lacrosse venue you've ever played in?
Yeah, I got to go with Gillette Stadium for the Final Four and championship
Yep.
this year. It's unreal.
Gillette Stadium. Oh yeah, I actually went there. I went there because I had a lacrosse tournament right before that, and then right after we went there. Can't remember if I saw you or not, but
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
yeah,
Yeah, the pool was
sweet
great.
stadium. Also, because I like the Patriots. Patriots are my favorite NFL team. They have been, but shout out to Bud Carr. Yeah. Um, tougher opponent. Tougher opponent. A crease attackman in lacrosse or a 250-pound linebacker in football.
I gotta go with the linebacker. I like guarding the crease attackman.
You like the crease attackman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that was up the communication and off ball stuff.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at that. So,
Yeah. Um, Cornell Big Red or UVA Cavalier? Better team gear. Who has better team gear?
oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna make me choose. Better team gear, the UVA team gear.
UVA team? All right. Hidden talent outside of sports. It can be so much as you can whistle. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
I'll go with bass fishing. Good. I'm a good fisherman. I like
You
to
are a good
bass fish.
fisherman. We have a pond and I caught like 25 fish in 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Might need to get out there. Sounds like a good spot.
Yeah. Would you rather score a touchdown in front of a packed Scott Stadium or rip a two-pointer as a pull in a PLO game?
I got to go with the touchdown. I
Yeah,
haven't gotten one yet, so yeah, I'll go with the touchdown.
touchdown. Oh, and we have an audience question coming in from an A. Tybal. Who is the best high school advisor of all time?
Now that is a good question. Coach Tybel is without a doubt the best high school advisor, and
Yep, Coach
yeah,
Tybal. We talked
has
to him.
done a lot for me over the years. So
Yeah,
he's the man. He's the
he's
best.
a great guy. He's a great guy. I
Yeah.
love talking with him. He's very wise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I learned a lot from him, so
yeah,
I try to soak it in as much as I can.
yeah. Love that guy. And this is our last question. What is your go-to karaoke song?
uh, I love Taylor Swift, so I will go. Uh, You Belong with Me, Taylor Swift.
You belong with me. That's one of my sister's favorites.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
about right. I have two
yeah.
older sisters, so that's how
Yep.
I ended up as a
Yep.
Taylor Swift fan.
Exactly. Taylor Swift and two older sisters goes along. It's like one plus one equals two.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate having you on, Walker. It's cool talking with the captain, going from, transitions from Cornell to UVA, and it's cool talking with you.
Yeah, well, it's been great being on here. It's really cool that you're doing this, and yeah, you're doing a great job. So keep
Thank
it up.
you.
If there's ever
I
anything I
will.
can do, let me
All
know.
right. Well, I will keep in touch.
All right, have a
All
good one.
right. See ya.